You're doing great.
Hello and welcome back to Project Spot DL, where we're documenting lesbian stories. Thank you to the ELC, meaning Euro-Central Asian Lesbian Community, and European Commission for making this happen. And hello to my wonderful guest today.
Well, hello.
Hello. There's also a very nice blanket that you are sitting on right now, and it's a bisexual flag, as I know, right?
It is. Well spotted.
Right, exactly. Actually, we have more flags, and there are some things in the making that I've heard of. And if somebody has missed it, then when we are talking about lesbians, there's a little tiny asterisk that we're using, which means that when we say lesbians, we also mean bisexual people, non-binary people, trans women, basically anybody who self-identifies as a lesbian. And we have most of the stories that we have documented are by people who identify as lesbians. But today I have this pleasure to have a guest who does identify as part of the lesbian community as well. But I will not talk. I would invite you to talk. Hi, Ieva.
Well, hi, Anastasia.
Who are you? How come you're here?
Well, I am Ieva. I'm here because you invited me.
This is sometimes how it works.
Yeah, but, well, I am here, yeah.
What connects you to the lesbian community? I think that's a really interesting
What
story,
connects
isn't
me?
it?
I like the women. This is a strong connection that brings me to the lesbian community. It's a big part of the people that I like. So this is...
Because I was about to say bisexual woman, but then I'm like, I actually don't know. How do you identify? So if you're willing to share.
I do identify as a bisexual woman, and a part of the bi plus umbrella. Some people more identify as pansexuals, as polysexuals, etc. But I myself see as bisexual being the best way to describe myself, the best way to identify. But I do not mind when people would call me anything under the lesbian or bi plus or etc. spectrum.
Because I remember you've been a part of some of our lesbian gatherings as well, and that you've mentioned at some point, you're like, oh yeah, but then I heard that Anastasia says that it also means bisexual women,
Yeah.
so that's why I came. And that actually really, really warmed my heart, because I think there's, like, we've had quite a few talks, because both of us, we're activists, and we're gonna get into that as well. What's with the flag and everything, and how come you know so much about Bi Plus movement. Yeah, but that really warmed my heart that there is, I felt that the bond has been created, because I think both for the lesbian community and Bi Plus community, there are a lot of feelings in regards to how we are being perceived and how the experience is. But let's get into that gradually. How come? What is your story? What is your history with? I will not call it coming out of the closet, but how did you realize that maybe? Okay, my sympathies are. It's an interesting journey.
I think there was a very huge period of time between realizing my interests and starting to self-identify and even thinking about coming out of the closet. I think I've always liked women, but it's interesting. I think I've told this story to many people. As when I was younger, I was just looking at people and liking them, and we grow up in this heteronormative world where people are supposed to two opposite genders are supposed to date and
make babies
and build families and do all of these things, you know, and of course get married as the law allows it to be. But always in between that, like I was like, I wasn't fighting that because like I do like the men and I see no problem in dating men and love it, do it on the daily. But always through that, I also had a lot of feelings towards women as well. But I think I never, when I was younger, I never really explored it or thought about it. It was just something that's there. And I also always thought it's something that's just there for everybody because women are beautiful, they're attractive, they're funny, they're smart, you want to be around them. Why would anybody not want to be around women? And you know, if you can be close to them in more ways than others are, that's even better. But I really, for the longest time, I never felt the need to self-identify as anything. I was like, yeah, I'm just people. I am just people. You know, I also never called myself heterosexual because you know, living in a heterosexual world, it's like, it's a given. I guess people always assumed, and if I at some points were doing things that don't really match the hetero, like I didn't think much about it. People didn't think much about it. I think that is mainly the bisexual story for a lot of people, because you don't. A lot of times you don't have this huge identity struggle because you are free to do part of your interests all the time. Nobody judges it, nobody questions it. It's really easy. I think that is one of the things that makes it that much more harder also when you do realize that, yeah, it is kind of both and now you have to explain yourself. And because you're allowed to date men as a woman, you're like, okay, I have things to do here. You know, it's fine. Nobody's judging me. You know, if you ever like make out with a girl in a party, that's also just considered hot. You know, it's like, oh yeah, we do allow that. That is allowed. That is normal. Nobody judges that either. I'm like.
Because that's fun.
Yeah, because that's fun. And then you're like, oh, well, let's see how far I can go with this. And you can go quite far. And until somebody really questions your identity, I think as a bisexual woman, you can, I know for a fact you can live until 30 and nobody will ever question your identity and everybody will just assume that you're heterosexual because you behave in ways that are allowed in the heteronormative world. But then I think activism was the thing that made me start to really think about my identity and to really think about what are the people that I like, what are the genders of the people that I like, why am I not exploring one side of what I like more? Because obviously it's a bit more difficult. It's something like, you know, you have to learn it and you have to get used to it and you have to find places where to do that.
What do you mean by that?
I think as, you know, like growing up and like becoming adolescent and all that, you know, it's you go to parties, you date, you meet people at school, at work, at everything, and flirting with men, getting to know men. It's like you go through this in your teenage years, then you get better at it, and then you start to understand what you like and what you don't like. It's something you explore as a part of your life. But then you become 30 and you realize that you have not explored the other part of your life at all. You know, you've peeked here and there, you looked into it and it was very fun and nice, but you quickly understand that you don't have the skills to approach women.
So it's different.
It is different. It is different, and I think it's best described like when I was like really starting to think, okay, I really want to do this more, and then I felt like, oh my God, I feel like a teenager again. Like, how do you even talk to girls? Like, what do you say? Like, because I didn't have problems before I was starting to think about my identity, before I was starting to actually like, okay, I like actually like girls like that. I want to pursue girls like that.
Was there a moment?
Yes, I think there was a moment where I was like, I'm really serious about this. Like, I really want to do it, and that was the point where I felt like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, and that it actually became harder because when I was not thinking about it, it was much easier to approach girls. I was like, whatever, I'm just here, you know, not.
Hello, bestie.
You know, hey bestie, what you doing? You know, like you don't think about it, and then at the time when I was like, okay, like I really want to start dating women seriously, I'm like, how do you do that?
Was there a trigger, or did something happen that brought you to this realization that, okay, I haven't explored it, and now it crosses my mind, and now I want to do something about it? Was it something specific that happened in your life, or was it just, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it happens. You drink your morning coffee, and then suddenly it's like, huh. Or maybe it was meeting somebody who was... It
was actually meeting somebody. I think it was when, it was the first time when I was in a situation when I was like, oh, I actually want to build a relationship with this person. And then I was like, oh, I do not have the skills for this. You know, so I thought, you know, like I'm like, I was like starting to spot so many things. Like you know, when you first start dating somebody, you would have done this, and then when it goes further, you would have done that. I'm like, well, this is different. Okay, I've never been this far, and I think that was the point where I was like, okay, there is so much that I need to learn about this. There is so much that I need to explore. I don't know myself in so many ways, and I think I was also questioning, am I equipped for this? Am I built for this? Like, you know, because you receive different reactions from people. I'm like, huh. But yeah, I think that it was a natural necessity to start exploring myself because I stumbled upon a person that I wanted to explore this with.
That's very interesting because I'm like, okay, I'm very lesbian, so probably that's why for me it sounds interesting because I wanted to be like, no, how is it different, and what do you mean you cannot approach? But then I started to actually analyze my life, and then I'm like, yeah, that is difficult. I'm just thinking, what is it for you as a bisexual person, if you are comfortable talking about that? What is it that, because you know, we all know gay panic or lesbian panic and stuff.
I don't. What is that?
And
what is that? I actually don't know what that.
Really?
What is lesbian
like
panic?
You get, well, I mean the same as gay panic, that you see somebody and you maybe are, and maybe you don't know at that moment whether it's I want to be that person or I want to be with that person. That you're so struck by, you know, by the charisma of a person, and yeah, when you are frozen in a way, that's like lesbian panic, when you're just like you're blown away, or gay panic. But I'm trying to train myself to start using lesbian, like term lesbian more, because everything is like gaydar, gay panic, and so on. I'm like, no, but lesbian dar doesn't sound that good. Okay, gaydar, but lesbian panic, when like it's sapphic love, and then so that's what is it that makes you panic and that makes you think, in your experience, that oh my God, I don't know how to play this game. Relationships are not game, just saying.
They're serious. But I don't know, I think it's just like being in that situation and recognizing that I think for me it's like whatever I can think of, I'm like, that's going to be stupid, that's going to be awkward, like I don't feel comfortable, it's not my second nature. It's like it's not that bad anymore. I'm getting way better, but yeah, it's just like this internal feeling that you're doing something new. I think in general, like, broadening your comfort zone and just trying new things. It's what makes you nervous.
We did an event together. We did Openly Queer Mic, and then for the second time, we did Bi Plus edition. And from what I've heard from bisexual women, mostly, is that what they share is that, oh my God, either the person is so pretty or so smart or something, that I think what I've heard the most is this freeze that you just don't know how to approach. And I think there's another thing of like, are we being besties right now,
Yeah.
or are we flirting? What's your experience?
That exact experience.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, it's like, first of all, like, I think like you get like nervous. Like, I think it's also when you like guys, like you also like when you like anybody, you're like, oh, you get the little tingles, and you're like, oh, so this is a nice person. I want to get to know this person. Then you're like, oh, what do I say? How do I look? Am I saying something stupid? Is this okay? Are they even interested? You know, where's this going? Like, oh, they seem nice towards me, but do they just want to be friends, or don't?
Are they just being nice to me, or are they flirting?
Yeah, you never know. And I'm like really shit at telling, because I don't know if people can tell when I'm flirting either, because I don't know what is the. I think it's a lot of times hard to tell. Like, I know that I can't even tell with myself when I'm just being nice or when I'm flirting. Like, how can you know when somebody else is doing that? But yes, you get a lot of that. And then also there's the thing, it was like, and what if they're straight? And then it's like,
Yeah. I think we can relate on that.
Yeah.
We can definitely relate on that.
Yeah, because sometimes you're like, oh, they must be, and then you're like, oh, interesting, they're not. Okay, but that's something. Then I mean, you just ask around. It's like, hey, have you seen this? Do you know this person?
Or like,
which way do they roll? But
which way do they roll?
Is it all of the ways? But yeah, I don't know. It's.
But you also shared that right now you feel more comfortable in this whole topic.
Yeah, because I feel comfortable being it and talking about it and telling about my experiences to others and listening to other people's experiences, like with neons and with building community. It's
what is neons?
Neons is
shortly, and then we're gonna go into that a bit deeper.
Neons is a Bi Plus spectrum organization that wants to put bi people on the map, gives people bi representation, and sort out some stereotypes and some stigma about it, while making safe places for bi people and everybody who wants to hang with us.
Yeah, because like the next thing that I wanted to touch upon, and it comes together very well, is that I don't know how is it from the side of bisexual people, because like I have had relationships with bisexual people, and thankfully I'm not, I think, having these blindfolds of like, oh no, they're gonna cheat with a guy and stuff. But I think there's so many myths around it, and I also wanted to dedicate and give space for this, for you to tell about as much as you want, of course, and for us to have this conversation about how is it, because I think also what I've been to Neon's events, and I've heard, of course, the stories and of people and stuff. It's also very hurtful, I think, you know, when we stumble upon this discrimination within the community. It
is very hurtful, and I want to say that the best one of the best things that have come out of creating Neons and creating this community is being able to be in a room with people that feel the same way, where you don't have to explain yourself, when people understand you. Because I think a lot of times bisexuals for the rest of the society are the hardest to understand. There's a lot of things that people just don't want to believe because they can't identify with it. I think there's a lot to say about, like, a lot of people assume that by being bisexual is just a transition period. You're just on your way to becoming a lesbian. Like, no, that is not true. And or they think, oh, you're just experimenting, and eventually you're gonna land in one or the other place. A lot of times it's hard for people to make sense out of it. But what do you mean? But which one do you like better? It's like neither. That's the point. This is a big one, where because a lot of times people ask, but what do you mean? But how is it then? But and a lot of, and the thing is, it is different for different people. There is no one true bisexual experience. There's no one true lesbian experience. Everybody feels different.
I mean, golden star lesbians for whatever. I mean, there are so many things that are very problematic. Also, yeah, within the community, and just recently, like you're sharing. So, are you one? Which one do you like more? And stuff. And even though we know the answer, no, but maybe. One of my friends, who is like a friend of mine, who is also part of the community, but not being a big part socially of the community, he was also asking, like, yeah, but bisexual, especially bisexual girls or bisexual women, don't they miss the dick? And I'm like, so I've been educated by my bisexual friends that no, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Because sometimes people go into very far places of, like, yeah, maybe they are in a lesbian relationships, but one of the partners is bisexuals. So how do they do with the kids? And I'm like, what do you mean, how do they do with the kids? The fact that she wouldn't mind sleeping with the man doesn't mean, like, whoo.
This is not a research to go and make kids, like. So I mean, some people do.
Whatever tickles your pickle.
Exactly. But and there's, I think, like, this is a question that I've been asked, or people are saying, like, oh, but at some point you're gonna miss the dick, and are you gonna break up with me then? I'm like, no, this is not how it works, and it's the same from the other side. Guys who say, yeah, but then I'm not gonna be enough, and you're gonna miss girls, and you're gonna go, like, no, that is not how it works, I
believe, except from non-monogamy.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I am a monogamous person, so I assume that for non-monogamous people it is, I don't want to say different, but like you get around more, I want to say, but it's not that you need to have both. A lot of times people assume, so if you're bi, you need both. Don't need both. You have one or you have the other. You just have the ability to choose at different times. Like, sometimes you fall for a guy, sometimes you fall for a girl, sometimes you fall for a non-binary person or trans person. It doesn't matter. And it's not that, you're gonna miss the other things. If when you commit, and you just like that. And I know this is, I think, one of the most often questions asked. But you definitely, this is gonna happen, And the funniest thing is when there's been so many times where people who are cheaters, who I know that are cheaters, would say, like, I really don't trust bisexual people. I'm like, because they're gonna go and, like, do something else. It's like, There was this one time, I think it was in Fest, where I was having a conversation with this one lesbian for like a good hour, where she was explaining to me how like she really doesn't understand is bisexual. She wanted to ask questions and understand more, and the more I was saying, the more she was saying, no, but I don't understand that. I still don't believe that.
I don't believe you.
Yeah,
I don't believe
you know, and then she shared her experience where she has cheated with every single girlfriend that she has had, and is currently cheating her current girlfriend. I'm like, do you hear yourself?
Wait, she's cheating,
Yeah.
or somebody's cheating on her?
No, she's the cheater.
Oh.
But but people say the most jealous people are the ones that are cheaters themselves, because they experience the need of it. So they assume that it is the same for other people. But this is a big one. Yeah, people always assume that that you're going to be cheating, and that is a very it's a very unpleasant feeling, because it's hard when your trust is being questioned, when you feel like there's nothing I can do to make somebody trust me. But I have had a couple of relationships where the other person has trust issues, and I'm like, I've learned to just understand those are your issues.
So no matter what you do, if you're bisexual, you're the one to blame.
Yes, usually it's you're the one that's gonna change your mind. You're the one that's gonna cheat. You're the one that can't определиться. What is the best word in English?
You cannot decide.
You cannot decide. You cannot decide. There's always the risk, and I think that there are risks in every relationship. There's many things that when you are in a relationship, you are afraid that some things might happen, or you're afraid a person's going to react in a certain way, and it goes for every single relationship, bisexual, heterosexual, gay, lesbian, every relationship you have this. But I think that when you're dating somebody bisexual, there's this one added risk. And then people choose to focus on this one added risk instead of thinking about what is actually the importance of this relationship, what are the other things that we need to think about. And people, because this is this one added thing that you haven't had in any other relationship, then people blame that. That must be the bisexual in you that is making this relationship not great. As opposed to maybe I'm just a bitch. Has nothing to do with the fact that I'm bisexual.
That is true. Or what your gender is, or what your gender expression is, and
exactly.
so on and so forth. That somehow becomes, the biggest blame material, I think. Have you had any situations when it was also used against you, personally? Like, oh yeah, you're gonna change your mind.
I've
or you will want a dick eventually.
People have told me this. Like, oh yeah, well, eventually you're gonna start missing dick, or you're eventually gonna want to be with a woman again, or like something's gonna happen. Like, oh, but you can't just stick with one. Like, what are we gonna do when you're gonna start missing the other thing? I'm not. If there's something wrong with this relationship, that's the reason why it's going to end, not because I'm missing the other genitalia.
That's sad. It's like really,
it is
really
sad. It is. It makes you like. It really feels like there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to make this person trust me. But and in general, it's when people have these doubts, and it's normal that people have these doubts. If it's their first time dating a bisexual, I'm open to that. I can talk about, okay, this is me. I am bisexual. This is what we do, what we eat.
Our species.
This is our bisexual species, and I'm very open to explaining and talking about it. But when you have to explain it again and again and again and again, you're like, yeah, maybe this is not something I want to do anymore. It becomes very tiring. It's tiring in general when you're being questioned by some of your friends, or at work, or you're having a conversation where like, oh, what's this bisexual deal? It's hard when you have to explain yourself to different people on daily basis. But when you have to do it in your relationship, then that is the one place you don't want to do it. So it's those relationships that have ended very quickly.
Yeah, most probably it also shows upon a bigger challenge within the communication and everything. Well, truth to be said, okay, my own way how I came to a conclusion that I'm a lesbian and so on, even though I was questioning myself here and there, like, are you sure? Because we're living in such an informational bubble, and the pressure of, as you said, if you have born with this set of genitalia, then it means your life path will be most likely like that. And of course I've heard also about these stereotypes about bisexuals. I'm like, not trustworthy, not trustworthy. And even that bisexual, bad if it's also Gemini. as within astrology, then it's double trouble. No, it's not like that. I don't remember whether I mentioned it on camera or off camera. Like I've had very lovely experience with bisexual people, and I can say that no, it's not people who cannot decide themselves. No.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, some people can't decide. You know, there's...
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, but there should be a percentage of people who actually live by this stereotype.
Definitely, and I think, like, because, you know, everything has a bit of truth to it. There, like, I've talked to people with certain experiences where they have been mistreated by a bisexual, or something has happened, or like somebody who was at some point defined as a bisexual decided they're gonna go heterosexual, or they're gonna go gay. You know, like, this happens to people.
Yeah.
This is something that can happen, and I know for a fact that for a lot of people, it's easier to use the term bisexual than saying that you are gay. For some people, this is a word.
Safe
yeah, this is a safe zone, and they use this as a transition period, and I don't mind people doing that. It's like, however you define yourself, however you see yourself in one part of your life or the other, things change. That's okay. But of course, because when other people meet people when they're going through their change, they're like, so in my experience, there's no such a thing as bisexuality, because I met this one person. And they were like this, and this is what happened afterwards. So I know for a fact that all bisexuals are like that, and that's just not true. You know, people have experiences. Like, you know, I have had good and bad experiences with every single gender, with every single sexuality. That is normal, but I've never thought, oh, it's because of that. No, it's because this person was like this. It's because this person was going through a period of something. You know, I cut this person at a bad time maybe, but it doesn't speak for the whole subset of people.
What else would you like to mention, or maybe something that you would want other lesbians to hear from you as a bisexual woman? Because this project is everything all about and around lesbians, including bi people that we love. Maybe there's something that you want other people to hear also from your own experience.
I think the most thing that I want people to know is, like, go and see yourself, explore, give a chance, don't be closed-minded. We are nice people. Not all of us, because not everybody is nice. You know?
Not all lesbians are nice.
Exactly. I met some mean ones. But I know that you're not one.
Thank you.
So I think people should just judge people on the basis of their character and who they are as a person, and not focus on sexuality that much. Not to be afraid of it, and just see where things go, and like really be open-minded. We are cool people.
Is there any other stereotype that we've missed to discuss that would be actual in between of, let's say, a lesbian and a bisexual person? Bisexual woman, most likely. If it comes to your mind, we can go back to that.
There's so many, but that now I can't think of one.
Okay, but nouns, because we've touched briefly. How did you end up in nouns?
Oh, well, I ended up in nouns because my best friend thought of creating a bisexual organization, because it is true, like, we have not been very represented. It is a fact that the biggest part of LGBTQ plus community are bisexuals, actually, open or not open, but that is true. And in all the pride events and like many things, there was never like this is an event for bisexuals. This is a lecture or discussion about how it is to be a bisexual, a parent to a bisexual, or this is what it means to come out as a bisexual. There was always this, like, people were talking about gay experiences, and I think as much as there are so many things that bisexuals can relate with that, there are many things we cannot. There are many ways how, like, realizing your bisexuality and coming out and just handling it, it can be very different. So there was kind of a need for it, and at that time I was like, yeah, my friend, this is a good idea, you go do that, I'm just gonna be here. And eventually just seeing this nouns being created, I wanted to be a part of it more and more and more, and this is when I explored myself more and more, and you talk to people.
Met some new people.
Yeah, you meet some new people, because I think as a bisexual, you think like, oh, I must be the only one feeling like this. There's these, the heterosexual people know what they're doing, the gay people know what they're doing, and then there's us, and like
we don't.
Yeah.
Then
these are these like big organizations that know what they're doing, but it's turns out nobody does. Nobody knows what they're doing, and there's many people who feel like I remember like sitting in these nouns meetups, and people are just like finishing each other's sentences, like, no way, like, really, yeah, I also feel like that. Oh, I thought I'm the only one that feels like this, and this is like, I think the biggest joy I have of being a part of nouns, because going on Pride and making events and like all of this is amazing stuff, and posting, but like sitting in the room and like having these small like, me too, you too, no way, this really, and I think these small moments like this, when I realize like, oh my God, there's so many of us that feel exactly the same, and that's, I think, the nicest thing about it. But yeah, and when you talk to people, you start thinking about yourself more. Like, a lot of times exploring yourself comes through talking to others, through conversations and sharing experiences. This is where you notice things when somebody else tells you something, like, oh my God, this is actually happening to me all the time, but I never paid any attention to it. And like, wait a minute, this is a thing, okay. And through that, I kind of become this like, fuck yeah, bisexuals, let's do this. And loud and proud and talking about stereotypes and trying to erase them and just trying to be the best representation I can, even though sometimes I talk bullshit as well. But
well, I do think with everything that is happening also in nouns, I wanted to ask, actually, are there more bisexual men, bisexual trans people, non-binary people, women?
Well,
in your community? Our community, but in Bi Plus bubble.
Yeah, you will definitely see more women, but we do have men, we do have trans people coming over as well, and then non-binary people, a lot of non-binary people. But I think there's something about these like straight, like like these used to be straight white women, like trying to do organizations, and I think it's way easier for women to be out and about talking about their bisexuality. And it can be much harder for men. It can be more difficult. So it takes, I think, a different approach to get men interested in coming to these events. But it's definitely happening. And when you talk about like who are the most closeted people in general, it tends to be bi men are quite on the top over there. Because already there are a lot of bisexuals. Sometimes, depending on who you're hanging out with, you don't want to say that you like one gender or the other gender. You know, if you're with your straight friends, like yeah, way on, dick, you know. And sometimes when you're, you know, meeting some, some cool lesbians around, and they're like, yeah, but by the way, I also like these men. You don't want to. It's sometimes you don't know how people are going to react to it.
But do you feel this pressure? Maybe that's a stupid question, but do you feel this pressure that, let's say, if you're in a predominantly lesbian bubble or group of friends, that you need to apologize for that? Because I got a little hint of that.
Not necessarily apologize, but I think not anymore. Not anymore. I think before, like, there was, because with bisexuals, there's a lot of this. Okay, but do I count yet? You know, because how it usually goes with bisexuals, you start with one gender and then you kind of transition and hanging out with the other. Like, I like somebody of my gender, so does this make me bi? Am I bi enough now? Okay, I've had a first kiss, you know, am I bi now? Does this count? Okay, well, do I have to have sex with this person? So for me to count bi, okay, been there, done that, but I've never been in a relationship with my own sex. Do I still get to say that I am bisexual? I think there's a lot of this experiences, like proving that you're worthy of being bisexual in general as well. I've had a lot of depression, and a lot of people that I've talked about have had the same thing. And the truth is, you don't have to check any boxes. If you feel bisexual, you are bisexual. But I think there has been a lot of that, and maybe in the past, when like I've had a group of lesbians that I hung out with, and I was like, yeah, I'm bisexual, you know. And then they're like, oh yeah, we all lesbians. Like, yeah, not all of us are lesbians here. There's also bisexual here, you know. And they're like, yeah, whatever. You're gonna come around.
You're lesbian enough. Huh?
Yeah, you're lesbian enough. You're gonna come around. Like, yeah, you're gonna quit the dick eventually. You're gonna come around. There's a lot of that.
How did you feel when
I
believe it was
great.
a joke.
Yeah,
it was a joke or it wasn't a joke.
Yes and no, because you never. It's always said in a joking background, and I don't believe that that it's sometimes, you know, like people say things, but because somewhere deep down they do mean it. Or there is a reason why people say things, and even if it's like a joking environment, you're like you laugh with them, but it's like, but no, that's not my experience. That's not how I feel, and like I would appreciate you not saying that. And I've become more and more vocal about this. When somebody says that, oh, you're gonna come around, or this and this is gonna happen, like, no, it's not gonna, you know. And there's also one other interesting thing is, like, people like to say, okay, bisexuals should do this, and then we will trust them more. Like, bisexuals should act like this. And like, why do you think you're an expert on that? Why do you think how? Okay, so to get a better reputation, you bisexuals, you need to
that you need to earn.
Yeah,
the badge.
You need to earn the badge, and like, okay, like, you know me, like. You, and also, like, you know, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the good ones, but these other bisexuals.
Well, let me say this from the lesbian community. Right now, I'm coming as the lesbian representation.
Oh, wow.
We love our bisexuals. As long as we're not assholes to each other, I think like, because it's sad, like, listening to all of this. And I'm very sorry for the mean lesbians in your life. But I have another question too, actually. One of them is about the representation and inspiring women who are either bi or pan or lesbians. Do you think we have enough of role models, of people we can look up to? Like, you're one of the people to look up to.
Thank you.
And I do believe strongly every person and every lesbian story that we're recording, like, all of these people are role models who are openly telling about their lives, their stories and everything. But how do you feel? Do you think we have them? Because I think we have very few.
I think
in Latvia.
Everybody is a role model for somebody. I think.
But you know, the public.
I think I want to say the best thing you can do for your community is being loud and proud, coming out of the closet and talking about it, that you are this or other, and inspire other people to be open about it as well. Right now, I think tough time. When is it ever an easy time? But it can be very hard for somebody to be a bisexual role model is that you're gonna receive the same questioning and the same stereotypes as bisexual people receive as well. There's, you know, there are musicians, celebrities, actors that come out as bi, and they're like, oh, they just came out as bi, but now I see them kissing this and this on the balcony, so where did this bi thing went? I was like, yeah, still bi. Remember what the definition of bi is.
About lesbian drama.
Yeah, you know, and I think...
not lesbian, TikTok drama, sorry.
Yeah, many, as well, lesbian. It's...
a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. It's hard because you are, as just a, you know, everyday normal bisexual, you know, you are questioned, but like whether you're dating one or the other or the third gender, you're like, okay, so now you're this then. No, still bisexual. I am not hetero when I'm with a man, and I'm not a lesbian when I'm with a woman. Like, in a general scheme of things, now we know that I am also a lesbian. Yeah, but you know, I'm still bisexual. It doesn't matter who I'm sleeping with. I'm still bisexual. And when you are a role model, as to say, like, you're going to be asked these questions even more and more and more. So I think it's very hard. Everybody that has came out as a bisexual, they face this. Okay, so who are you going to be dating now? And and in what way we're going to be able to say that you're not a real bisexual, because this one person that you are with now only has one gender.
Oof. I do hope this will be watched by everybody who is interested. I would want to say I hope that this will be watched by many.
Yeah. And don't be scared. Bisexuals are nice. Believe in us. Trust in us. Build relationships with us. We're cute. Mostly.
Yes. There's one thing, as we're approaching the end of our conversation, there's one thing that I'm asking every person that I talk to, and it's, do you have a lesbian dream? And if you do, are you willing to share so that we can manifest it together for you?
A lesbian dream. Well, a lot of times I dream about spaces. What I think, I dream about having more spaces where you know that they're like lesbian spaces, you know, like clubs and bars and hangout
like
spaces.
Women-led.
Yeah.
Also.
This is something that I want more of, and I don't see enough of that. Not just in Latvia, but in general, I think.
Well, may your dreams come true. May your lesbian and bisexual and all other dreams come true. And I think somewhere on the way I realized that how many episodes I have recorded, I think I have almost never introduced myself. So, mystery. But thank you, Ieva, We will definitely add information about neons and how to find you in case a lesbian wants to slide into your DMs. Who knows?
Slide. At Ieva Kruča.
Again, this has been Spot DL, where we're documenting lesbian stories. And we will be documenting lesbian stories. We will keep on doing that. We. Me. Us. The team behind. Thank you, Euro Central Asian community. Thank you, European Commission, for making it happen. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. As in, bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
No, very nice.
Let's be cute.
The theme behind.
Do whatever gender you can.
Jā. Tas ir my proudest uzlīme. Tu esi izdomājis.